Yo, what's going on guys? I'm Entity Maze, and welcome to my Pokemon Sun and Moon review series. Today I'll be reviewing episode 125, Ash, A Counter Beyond Time, which was honestly such an enjoyable episode. I did not expect to have as much fun as I did with it, even if some theories many fans and myself theorized didn't come true. Never let expectations get the best of you. But anyway, if you want to know more about what I thought about this episode, then get relaxed everybody, as I will now jump right into this review. Let's go! So the episode begins with Ash training alongside his Pokemon for most likely the Alola League, which is just around the corner at this point. Neat. Well, meanwhile, over at Professor Kukui's house, Bernard finds a photo of Kukui age 5 with a Litten, which starts off this episode's main plot point, Kukui's learning as a kid, as we first receive a flashback where Kukui gets to witness all sorts of moves in a Kahuna battle he had learned about in his trusty guide to moves, while later on into the episode, Ash will actually end up meeting Kukui as a kid. But before we get into the story of Ash meeting a young Kukui, I do want to quickly state that this flashback was 1, a nice introduction to the episode, and 2, I did admire how passionate Kukui was when it comes to Pokemon. He honestly reminded me a lot of Barney in that one scene, especially when he shouts at Holler to not treat him like a kid, as he already has a vast knowledge of Pokemon, himself even owning a Firium Z, which I found pretty cool. And we'll get to fight Sea Crystal later on as well. As continuing on with the story now, the story continues with us cutting back to Ash training with his Pokemon, which I must say, this second half of the training had beautiful animation. It made me fantasize so much of how the battles will look in the Alola League with this such beauty and smooth movements. But because of how beautiful this training was, it scares a Celebi, oh hi there, who was looking by in a forest, which ends up accidentally traveling to the past with Ash and Torracat included. While meanwhile, Ash's other Pokemon wonder where Ash disappeared to, which will actually lead into a plot for the next episode, and I quite adore that. But as for my thoughts regarding Celebi appearing in this episode, I mean, although I know some people would be quite frustrated to see another legendary / mythical within the series, I didn't mind Celebi in this episode whatsoever, seeing as it helped towards character development and even world building. It's not just fair for us to go, oh cool, a Celebi, that's amazing. Not only that, but this Celebi doesn't then appear until the very end of the episode, so it didn't play that big of a role in this episode, which is something I can appreciate due to ourselves witnessing Celebi have quite a few big roles before in the past. And talking about the past, how about we continue on with this story now. Back in the past, Ash ends up meeting a young Kukui who was strolling by, which because Ash never got to see that photo from the beginning of the episode, he doesn't realize this kid is Kukui, nor does he ever ask for his name, simply giving him the nickname Gao, due to him wearing an Incineroar hat, which Incineroar's Japanese name begins with Gao. Torracat on the other hand, does realize this must be Kukui, due to realizing from a simple sniff on his Litten that this is the Incineroar he's battled with and against, which is very nice small detail. After these characters got introduced to each other though, Kukui notices that Ash has a Z-Ring and asks him to perform Infernal Overdrive due to himself finding that via Sea Crystal, which at first Ash was reluctant regarding this, due to never performing it and borrowing somebody else's Z Crystal. However, he manages to pull through due to wanting to inspire this kid and even remembering how to perform the correct pose for the C move due to witnessing Kiora use it Arceus knows how many times, which left Ash performing such a stunning Z move. Like legit, although we've seen Infernal Overdrive before, the animation unique to Torracat here, much like how Marak had its own differences compared to Turtonator, was very appealing to look at, and even satisfying. As if you've been a viewer since 2017, you know that I've wanted Ash to have his Z Crystal for such a long time. So that way, Torracat has his own Z Crystal, much like how every other Pokemon on Ash's team have their own Z Crystal, even if some of the Pokemon can use another Z Crystal. But you know what I mean. So seeing this short moment made my dreams come true for a little while. But little did I know that Ash would soon end up with a Firium Z of his own towards the end of this episode, which we'll get to later. Moving on though, as you would expect, Kukui admired seeing this scene will be performed and motivated him to try and become stronger, so he's ready for when he becomes a trainer at 10 years old. Even asking Ash to then have a battle with him, which Ash accepts, but is blasted once Kukui overheard Ash asking Torracat to use weaker attacks, so he doesn't beat Kukui so easily. Again, showing that Kukui doesn't want to be seen as a kid, as he has knowledge on all sorts of Pokemon related stuff already. However, when Ash and Torracat do use their full power, they smoke Kukui and his Litten, which Kukui got upset about this, as, you know, he's a kid. But Ash then teaches Kukui that it's okay to lose, as you can just give it your best the next time around, which cheers up Kukui easily. And, what do you know, Kukui then beats Ash many years later without realizing. This scene here also taught Kukui that even though you may think you've learned a lot already, you still always have more to learn along your journey, which is always a nice lesson to see be portrayed in the anime. After this battle, Kukui then introduces Ash to the forest Pokemon he befriended, which one of them included a Trevenant who just happened to be a totem Pokemon as well, this being how Kukui obtained the Firium Z. Soon after this, it starts to rain, which Trevenant then controls the trees in the forest to cover all characters and Pokemon so they don't get soaked, which was a kinda neat ability to see be showcased. This rain then giving Ash and Kukui the excuse to interact more, Kukui asking all sorts of questions about battles, which Ash then teaches Kukui about gym leaders, Pokemon leagues, and Pokemon masters, which inspires our young character. And it was very sweet to watch. But you know what was hilarious to watch on the other hand? That was Ash dodging Kukui's question of what happens after you win a Pokemon League. Ah, man, I swear to God the writers were just trying to annoy all those people who get frustrated at Ash using leagues. Ah, nicely done writers, you goddamn trolls. But putting that amusing factor aside now, I do want to focus more on this beautiful talking scene. First of all, wow. This scene essentially confirmed that Ash is the main reason why Kukui wants to build a league in the future, which is just mind-blowing to think about. Ash was that much of a role model to Kukui all the way back then. That's actually super cute and very magical to hear. I love this so much. For Kukui himself under the mask real alias to then inspire Ash in a way to become stronger with Litten just makes the relationship between these characters even more appealing and fulfilling. Like, oh my god, I literally cannot express enough how much this scene made me happy. You know what? It could also be foreshadowing towards Ash battling Kukui in the finals of the league, which is pretty obvious anyway. However, getting more details like this makes it far more exciting to see this event unfold. I know for a fact that it will feel so satisfying when that time comes as well. Secondly, regarding this scene, it was at this moment in time that I started to piece together how some elements of Kukui's young character, and again Ash influencing Kukui, made young Kukui flourish into the older character we all know today. Such as Ash could be the reason why Kukui got himself and even his students, who have never met gym leaders, to meet gym leaders. Ash is also definitely one factor that inspired Kukui to become stronger and evolve his Litten. And finally, the guidebook Kukui carried around that has knowledge on all sorts of Pokemon and their moves could have been the reason why Kukui made the Rotom Dex within the future. So that way, more information could be added onto Pokemon once new information is learned about them, instead of having to rely on outdated books. Plus, the Rotom Dex gives the excuse for it to hold data on new Pokemon species it finds, such as Melton. Hell, actually, just by thinking about it as of the time of this recording, that guidebook and Ash and Harlow teaching Kukui many things about the Pokemon world could have inspired Kukui to become a teacher as well, so that way he could pass all of his knowledge onto other inspiring trainers. Oh my god, that's brilliant! And just in general, I love this episode's foreshadowing to those present day events so much. I love you, Sun and Moon. I think this episode has even given me more of an appreciation towards Kukui's character as well. Ah, what fantastic foreshadowing, character, and development building. Talking about development though, as we continue on with this story, Ash surprisingly receives some development of his own. Sorta. What I mean is that once the rain passes, Ash helps Trevenant out by taking some cute flies out of its head after Litten and Toraka have pointed this out, which the Pokemon being in Trevenant's head caused the Pokemon to sneeze somehow. In which, because Ash got rid of these cute flies, Trevenant then gives Ash his own Firium C for helping him out. I mean, I'm happy that Ash now has a Firium C because of what I stated earlier on into this review, but like, this was such a weird way for Ash to earn a Z Crystal. I don't know if I like it, to be honest. I mean, sure, some Z Crystals are easily gifted to you in the Pokemon games, but like, I didn't like that either. At least compared to other methods characters have received Z Crystals in this series though, outside of Trials, them characters had a sort of threat to go against to earn the Z Crystal or earned it by winning a competition. But here, it was just given for helping a Pokemon no longer sneeze? Like, huh? That's quite underwhelming compared to the other methods we've seen before. Okay, this has been the next day talking here, as I am currently editing, but maybe Trevenant recognized Ash's skills? I don't really know, but I feel like I'm missing a deeper and actual meaning here. So, if you actually know like the full meaning, could you comment it down below so I don't feel stupid anymore, because I honestly feel like I'm definitely missing something regarding this scene here. So, yeah, that would be nice. But anyway, I'll let past Ben now move on to the next section of the review. So, after this, Celebi, who went off at the start of the episode to do whatever, realizes with its abilities that Ash is in the wrong placement on this timeline. So, after Kukui and the forest Pokemon coincidentally look away from Ash, Celebi takes Ash back home, in which he is then greeted by all of his other Pokemon who are all dirty after searching for him all day. Which again, will be seeing their crazy adventure in the next episode, which I'm excited for. But as they all go back home to take a bath, confused by the events that just happened, Rotom actually showcases Burnett that he managed to capture a photo of Celebi just before Ash disappeared, which alludes to the time travel event after Burnett speaks of its abilities. The episode then ending off with Ash telling Kukui in his lab to come upstairs for food, which he was actually reading the book he used in the past. Ah, man. I really hope that Ash and Kukui one day realize they met each other in the past. That would make for such a monumental moment. Oh my god, imagine if it happened in the league battle as well. That would be so perfect. Side note, look at this. They kept Poipo's drawings on the lab walls this entire time. That's adorable. I mean, even though Poipo ended up having a family of its own, Poipo will always be family to the Kukui family. Which, speaking of the Kukui family as well, god, seeing Burnett scold Ash for not washing his hands before eating lunch originally was darling. I love the family bond she, Kukui and Ash share, despite not being related. But anyway, with that story and my thoughts now gone over though, let me now provide an overall summary for how I felt about this episode. Ooh, I definitely had a lot of enjoyment with this one. The reason why I held such a devotion towards this episode is because of all the character, development, and world building that was established, which I don't need to repeat again. You've heard that enough. But to be honest, I just wish some people didn't let their expectations get the best of them before watching this episode. As if you don't know what I'm talking about, many people theorized that Torracat could have evolved in this episode, but obviously that didn't happen, making them people downgrade the episode because of that, despite their theory being, you know, a theory. Nothing was confirmed whatsoever that Torracat would evolve. Like, this episode doesn't deserve that hate whatsoever. It had such a beautiful meaning behind it. It's kinda like the Eevee situation all over again. People theorizing that Ash will capture Eevee instead of Lana, despite the overall episode actually being good. The ending only being the disappointing factor for many people. But this, people, is why before I watch every Pokemon episode, I try to suppress my original thoughts from the summaries and previews, and even any theories I have, so that way, I don't let expectations get the best of me, and unfairly rate an episode because of that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if Torracat does not evolve before the end of the series, I will be disappointed, but I'm hopeful there could be an opportunity for that to happen at some point. And if Torracat isn't to evolve by the time Sun and Moon ends, I still would have found this episode to be magnificent, because I went into it with a clear mind. Obviously though, despite myself finding this episode to be impressive, I still have stated I did have a problem with one factor, and that is how Ash obtained the fight in EMZ. So obviously, I ain't blinded by all the good scenes to ignore the bad ones either. Which again, yeah, it was such a bizarre scene. Hell, just by thinking about it, it almost felt like this was a last minute decision due to how weird it felt for Ash to obtain this. Hell, the fact he didn't obtain the Sea Crystal earlier on into the series could allude to it being more of a last minute decision. But as I've said in my previous reviews, we do also know that the reason why every character is now suddenly gaining development towards the end of the series is because the series spent too much time telling plot heavy episodes and even those slice of life episodes. So that could be a part of the reason of why Ash obtained the Sea Crystal so late as well. The writers not being able to find a sweet spot to place it elsewhere. But yeah, altogether, this plot element is unfortunately one thing I didn't particularly like about this episode, but everything else is stupendous in my eyes, which is why I'd recommend you watch this episode if you haven't already. You're definitely missing out if you choose to miss it. This episode will actually be standing at a staggering number 6 out of 35 episodes on my season 3 leaderboard, whereas it stands at a whopping number 17 out of 125 episodes on my overall leaderboard. I guess I don't really hold such an adoration for this episode. What do you think of this episode though, if you've seen it? Let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear, as we can have different opinions, and that's always okay. I mean, I may have expressed a lot of disappointment towards those who let expectations get the best of them, but, you know, if you still didn't like this episode, even if you were to put your expectations aside, then fair enough. I can respect that. Anyway, that everybody now finally concludes today's review. So, if you enjoyed, then please be sure to consider leaving a like, a share, and if you're new here, a subscribe along with the invite bell icon to stay in loop with all things Pokemon anime related. If you want to support this channel any further away, I also have a Patreon. Thank you for watching everybody, this is HackInsomniac, signing out.